Good evening, good evening, everyone. What day are we on? We are on Wednesday still. How have y'all been? How has your day been on this wonderful winning Wednesday? I am hardly ever on this platform, um, but I wanted to give y'all a little nugget, right? Before we end the night officially for some of us. So anyway, welcome to my page. Um, Again, my name is Kenyatta Watkins Jones. For those of you that are new followers, for those of you that have been hanging in here, hey y'all. Tonight I want to go over really quickly. I won't keep y'all long, I promise. How your credit score is calculated, right? So, for those of you that don't know, I have been in the industry for a while, helping people not only get their credit on track, but just their finances, right? And here's what I have found out: a lot of people don't know how their credit score is calculated, right? So, I'm going to share with you guys tonight. That's why I have the breaking news. Um, Want to share with you guys how your score is calculated so that you can know, right? And of course, share with the rest of the world. So, first things first, I like to tell people that um, your credit score is calculated within 5 categories, right? So, as I tell my clients, I like to think of it as a pie, okay? And in that pie, you have 5 categories, right? 5 slices. The biggest slice of pie in it is what? Payment history. What does that mean? Pay your bills on time. There's no other way I can say it. Pay your bills on time, right? Payment history is 35% of your score, all right? So, in your credit score, y'all, it's 850 points total, right? And remember now, I said it's 5 slices of that pie, right? Those 5 slices are 850 total. Now, what's the biggest slice of pie? Payment history, pay your bills on time. Put it on automatic payment, forget about it, right? No matter what, do not have a late payment. Late payments can cost you anywhere from 50 to 100 points. So you do not want a late payment. Believe me, I was 1 minute late, Capital One, true story. Never forget it. Y'all, my credit score dropped 100 points for being 1 minute late with Capital One. Now, in payment history, because it is 35% of your score, it is going to be 297.50 points, right? Out of that 850, 297.50. Good evening, y'all. Um, so that's a lot of points, right? I told y'all it is the biggest part of the pie. It's the pie, 5 slices of that pie. Now, next is 30% of your credit score calculation. What is that? Amount owed. How much do you guys owe on these loans, on these credit cards, right? Get it down so that it's under 30%. Now, they love to say under 30%. But here's the thing. If you guys are right at that 30% mark and then they add on the interest rate, you're over 30%, honey. So what's going to happen? Your credit score is going to drop, right? So I like to tell my clients, let's get it at 20%, 25% so that when they add on the interest rate, you don't go over that 30%, right? So that's the second biggest portion of the pie, aka your credit score, is what? Amount owed. What is your utilization? 30%. How many points? Now remember, the whole total points is 850, right? How many points is that? That's 255 points. 255. That's still a lot of points. So payment history was the largest, right? At 297.50. Amount owed is 255 points. Y'all keep track. By the time I get to the end, it's going to equal 850 points. Now, next thing of the pie, third part of the pie, 15% length of credit. Now, here's where some people will say, oh, pay the card off, close it, cut it up, do whatever. No, 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 no. Here's the thing. If your credit score is calculating how long you've had this line of credit, aka trade line, open, and you close it, what do you think is going to happen? Your score is going to tank, right? You've had this line of credit, aka trade line, from when it's Sears, right? And y'all know Sears is no longer, right? That's how long some people have had that credit line open. And then all of a sudden you want to go ahead and cut it off? No, we're not doing that. What you need to do is just pay your debt, right? Or pay it as low as you can pay it and keep it moving. Next month, let's try it again, right? But here's the thing. Out of that 15%, that length of credit, it's 127.50, 127.50 points out of 850. It is still a lot of points that you could lose if you close that line of credit. Let's just be responsible, pay it off, or get it low as you can under that 20%. Now, the fourth part of your pie is new credit. That is 10%. Now, not as many points as the other pieces of the pie. It's still 85 points. 85 points is 85 points. Good evening, everyone. I'm going over how your credit score is calculated. It is consisting of 5 parts. I like to tell people it's like a pie, right? And you got 5 pieces in that pie. Depending on where you are at, which part we're going over, some pieces are bigger than the other, right? So right now we are on the fourth piece, which is 10% new credit. Now, for all of people that love to, and no judgment zone, right? Love to apply, especially the cute little reps. And they're like, hey, you want 15% if you try out our credit card? Hell no, right? We don't need that 15% off, baby. Because you're going to get an inquiry on your credit score. And here's the thing. If you're already low, if your credit score is low, a couple things will happen. I'm telling y'all, I've been there, done it. You're going to walk away without that 15%, whatever they're promising you. And you're going to walk away with a hard inquiry, right? So you're not going to have the 15%. You're not going to have the card. And you're going to have a hard inquiry, which is going to what? Drop your credit score. Now, here's the thing, 85 points. Now, if you have already applied 3 times, you've applied for something 3 times in 2024, stop. Don't you apply for nothing else. Do not. The most you are supposed to have is 3. That's it, y'all. 3. And guess what? Credit Karma even tells you that, and that's a free credit monitoring app. And it'll tell you. If you go a little crazy with applying for stuff, begging the baby Jesus, please let it go through. It's not going through. You already know. Fix your credit, right? And guys, I want you to share this information. I'm going to start going live more on this platform. I'm really heavy on Facebook and, LinkedIn, but never really TikTok. But I said, you know what? Let me show TikTok some love because y'all people be up late at night. I couldn't believe how many people are up this late at night, but they are. Anyway, now we are to our last portion of the credit score calculation. Remember, it is a pie and it's 5 categories. Now, types of credit used. This percentage, still small, but it's still important. It's 10%, which is 85 points of, remember now, in the beginning I told y'all 850 points total, right? Now, here's the thing. Types of credit used. You have your installment credit loans, right? Installment means what? That means your mortgages. That means your car payment, right? That even means child support, right? What does installment mean? That you have a specific amount every month that's due for a specific amount of time. That is installment versus revolving. Your credit cards and your store cards, meaning they go up and down depending on how much y'all swipe that bad boy, right? It is only 85 points, but 85 points is 85 points, right? So all together, you add all of these points together, I promise you're going to get 850. So that is how your credit score is calculated. What I want y'all to do, all these loans and credit cards you have, find out when they report to the credit bureaus. Just call them. Hey, when do you guys report to the credit bureaus? And guess what? Don't be shocked if they say they don't report to the credit bureau. And not all of them report to TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. Capital One reports to TransUnion, right? You won't see it on Equifax or Experian if you have a Capital One card, right? So that is the goal, is that whatever loans or credit lines of credit that you're getting, you want it to be even. So I tell my clients that. And y'all, here's another tip that I'm thinking about. Now, this has nothing to do with how your credit score is calculated, but you guys that are building, y'all may not need credit repair, but you're building, right? Because not everyone needs credit repair. That's number one. If you're building, build with the right, proper tools. Don't just go into the bank thinking you're going to get a secured credit card with your money, right? So, hey, a secured credit card is where you use your own money. Unsecured is where the bank say, hey, Miss Jones, we trust you, right? And by the way, I was denied for a secured card back in the day from Wells Fargo. They hurt my little feelings. They turned me down. I had a negative inquiry and no card, and my score dropped. I had a 430 and the score dropped. So I learned that lesson. So I've been telling everyone, don't walk into these banks thinking, hey, I'm going to get a secured credit card with them, because they can't deny you. You want to go with a company that you will be guaranteed approved with your own money, right? And that's what I tell my clients, right? We do have some companies that you can get secured with, right? Using your own money, it's guaranteed approval, unless you have a bankruptcy. That's something totally different. If you have a bankruptcy, then we need to have another conversation. But I want y'all to share that information, because a lot of times y'all go into the bank thinking, oh, it's a bank, they're going to give it to me. No, they don't have to. It's their rules, right? And another thing is, do they report to all three bureaus? You ever see some people's scores is up and down? You may have a 400 here, a 500 here, and a 600 here, and you're like, what's going on? They're not all reporting. Y'all know these companies have to pay in order to report. Y'all do know that, right? If you didn't, you do now. Now, again, for those of you that are just joining, I am Kenyatta Watkins Jones. I'm not on this platform a lot, but I said I was going to start going on here, so please forgive me. I don't even know how to work the little screen. Y'all probably saying a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. I don't know how to talk to you guys if y'all are asking questions. I don't know how to do that. But good evening. I see a lot of you have joined. Good evening. Good evening. So again, in the evenings, I will be hopping on. Tomorrow is a totally different topic. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about ways of how you can increase your credit score within 45 days. Yes, there are ways that you can increase your credit score within 45 days if y'all pay attention. I'm going to be real. Some of y'all don't like to listen. Y'all like to do your own thing, which is fine, right? If it's been helping you in the past, baby, go ahead and go with it. But I will be coming on tomorrow. I think it's going to be at 9:30. I think I already set it for 9:30 tomorrow evening. I'm going to be showing y'all some ways where you can increase your credit score within 45 days. The biggest question I get is, do I have to do something? Yes, you got to do something. You have to be a part of your own rescue. This is your credit score, not mine. Been there, done that, right? Now my job is to educate and elevate people on how to get their credit scores up. Not only how to get them up, right? So that's the repairing part. But y'all got to know how to build properly, and not just adding trade lines, by the way. That's not building a strong foundation of your credit score, right? It's only so many trade lines you can add. But it's really about knowing how your credit score is calculated, which I just went over, right? So you're going to repair, you're going to build, and then you maintain it. How can you maintain an 850 credit score? It's not hard. It's going to take discipline, right? It's going to take discipline. But guys, credit is important. Why? Because it dictates every pretty much avenue of our lives, where our babies go to school, our car insurance. If your car insurance is sky high, I mean, a part of it is your zip code, but it's a reason why they ask you for your social. They're running your credit, right? So where you live, right? Zip code, whether and that determines where your babies go to school, right? Be it a good school or a bad school, right? What they say, A school, D school, F school. What else? The car insurance, and then also jobs. If y'all have been applying for these jobs that deal with money or finances and they told you no, you didn't get the job, maybe your credit was bad. If you had bad credit. If your credit was good and it was something else, maybe you just didn't do well on that, interview or something, right? But you do have what we call a hiring index score. Hiring index score. That's where they run your credit to see where you fall. If you're not falling where you need to fall, you're not going to get that job. Somebody else is going to get it, right? And then remember, y'all also have an auto score. When you go to apply for cars, you have an auto score. Just like you have a mortgage score. Right? There's so many different scores, y'all. Credit is so deep. You can really go down a rabbit hole with credit. And here's the thing. If you have the time, if you have the energy, if you know the state statutes, you can do it. You can repair your own credit. You can do it. Me, I don't have the time. I didn't have the time, back in 2017 when I got started. I let another company do it. Thank God it was the right company. Now, I did have some other issues with some other companies, but I ended up with the right company. And they were able to get me from a 430 credit score to a 700 within 5 months. And then I hit a 725 30 days later, and then a 768 like 60 days later. And that's where I really was able to transform my life. I was able to get out of a used vehicle I was upside down in. Y'all, by the time they got done with me, and I'll tell you the name, because I don't mind sharing my testimony. I went to Drive Time, just keeping it real. I went to Drive Time, needed a car. Our mature cars had some issues, right? Transmission went out on one, and the engine went out on another one. So we needed a car, and I had to go to Drive Time. And y'all, I need to drop the receipt. If I knew how to drop the receipt for y'all, I would put it in the comments. But I carry that picture around, that screenshot of that contract. That 2015 Camry, y'all, it was like 14.9. And then my interest rate was almost 21% APR rate. For those of you that don't know, APR, aka interest rate, determines the payment, right? It determines how much I'm going to pay the company back, or lien holder. If you know anything about, owning, when you go to own a car, buy a car, lien holder. And so it was like 21%. And by the time they got done with me, and I had to put $1,500 cash, that car was $35,700 walking out the door. $35,700. I didn't even realize it, y'all, at the time. Why? Because desperate people do desperate things, right? A lot of people want to use their credit. They want to do it when, instead of being proactive, they become reactive, right? Reactive to the situation. Damn, I need to use my credit now, and it's bad when you should have been proactive. and doing something about your credit 6 months ago or a year ago. And by the way, it don't take a long time to fix your credit, right? Depending on how many negative items you have, it could be a fairly quick process. My clients, within 45 to 90 days, they start to see results. 45 and day 90, and in between there, they'll start to see results. And for credit, they stay on sometimes 6 months, sometimes 9 months. But with my program, it is truly financial literacy. It's bigger than credit. I'm like, credit is a small, small part. I need you to understand how important it is to have a will and trust, how important it is to have a budget, right? How important it is to save, right? So these are all the things that I will be talking about in the evenings. So definitely, y'all share the information. Share my page with people, because here's the thing: I can give y'all so much knowledge, right? But are y'all gonna apply it, right? They say knowledge is powerful. Yeah, applied knowledge is powerful. You gotta apply it. And I'm even guilty of this sometimes when I take someone's class and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but I don't apply it. It may take me like 60 days to apply it, right? The info they gave me, right? So this is why I'm like, this is free game, this is free info. I don't mind giving y'all the information. It's no type of secret sauce, because guess what? I can give y'all the damn information. Is you're gonna use it. I need you to use the information. Good evening, good evening. Oh, I see my sister on here, Miss Tracy Williams. Hey, girl. Look, now, I done got on these people TikTok. I didn't even realize people be up this late at night, but I guess they do, right? They be up real late, So I was sharing with the people how your credit score is calculated. I want them to go out. Sharing is caring, and letting them know how important credit is and that it dictates everything you do in your life. And Miss Tracy, sis, I know you know that. You deal with that, every day, right? So listen, guys, definitely share, right? Share the information. Again, I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to go over how to increase your credit score within 45 days. Yes, it's possible. Are you going to have to do some work? Absolutely. Nothing is free in this life, right? You're going to have to do some work, baby. You're going to have to put some work in to get that credit score up. Is it worth it? Absolutely. It really is. I'm telling you guys, once you get that credit score up, your life changes. Your interest rates will go down. And here's the thing: you get that credit score up, you can go back to these credit card companies, go back to these loan people, redo it. Tell them you want a better APR rate, better interest rate. Your credit is better now. I know Capital One will do it. If you threaten Capital One, tell them, I just want to pay what I owe, and somebody else is offering me a better deal. Honey, they're going to get you in a lower APR rate. They're going to get you in a lower APR rate. Just let them know, right? And you guys got to be advocates for yourself. Take charge. Be advocates. Let them know, hey, what can I do? Can we, redo this? I need a lower interest rate, and they will give it to you, right? Or even, guys, there's so many things I want to share with you, even when it comes to you, for those that want to get a home and you have that debt to income ratio, DTI. If you're getting a home, you know what the DTI is. You got to be within a certain number. Go to the loans, go to the credit card companies, ask them for a increase in your limit, and that'll bring your debt to income ratio down, right? So it'll fall right where you need it to be in order to get that home, or stay, right, in order to get that home loan through. But guys, it has been my pleasure again. My name is Kenyetta Watkins Jones. You can find me on all platforms, including Nextdoor. Nextdoor be popping too. It has been a pleasure. I'm gonna learn how to work this thing. So if y'all ask any questions, I don't know how to get to it. I'm just being real. This is my first time in a long time on TikTok, and I don't know how to work it. So hit me up in the inbox. You guys can text me 954-268-4436. And I'll get your questions answered. Like I said, the information is free. Are you going to apply yourself? Ask yourself that question. Are you going to apply it, right? And remember, quick recap for those of you that are just now joining. You have 850 points, right? 850 credit score. And that 850 credit score is like a pie. You have 5 categories, right? Biggest is pay your bills on time, payment history, 35%. Next is 30%, which is amount owed. How much do you owe on these loans and credit cards? Get that debt paid off. If you charge up 100 for the month, pay off 100 at the end of the month. I'm just keeping it real with you, right? Whatever you charge, make sure you pay. 3% is length of credit. How long have you had these credit cards and loans? Stop closing out credit cards and loans that you had for 20 years since back in, the Sears days. Just pay whatever you owe. Keep it going every month. Charge a little something, maybe some gas or a little lunch with your girlfriends or your guys or whatever, your wife or your husband, right? Next is 10% new credit. You only want to have 3 inquiries. What does that mean? Stop running y'all darn name and Social Security for everything. Stop it. You're only supposed to have 3 for the year. 3. That's it. Anything else, you drop it. Last but not least is types of credit used, which is 10%. You want to have a mixture of 2. Installment loans, car payment, mortgages, student loans, child support. Those are installment loans, right? Revolving. Credit cards, store cards. What's the difference? One, you're paying a specific amount for a specific amount of time. One, it goes up and down depending on how many times you whip that bad boy out. Right? So that is a recap of how your credit score is calculated really quick. I have been going on longer than for those of you that are coming on. But listen, I always say I love you guys. Sharing is caring. Guess what? Wash y'all damn hands, because my other hat, I was in the nursing field for 20 years. Wash your hands, wear your mask, right? And guess what? It's still Happy Winning Wednesday. We're still on Winning Wednesday. So please continue to go out and win whatever time zone you are in. I love y'all, and I will be back tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, 9:30. Go ahead and, notifications set, whatever y'all do on TikTok. I'm going to learn it, I promise y'all. And I'll be back tomorrow to show you how to increase your credit score within 45 days. And again, it's going to be some work, right? But you got to be a part of your own rescue, because I promise you, once you get to the end, it will be amazing. Now, y'all be sending me some hearts or whatever. I do know enough of that where you can send hearts, or maybe you could tap the screen. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. But I will see y'all later, and y'all have a great, great night. Until the next time. Thank you so much.